Your son, the
we
coward,
have
the idea of
stared
coward.
down the Babylonians.
It might be like this.
We have stared
Your son,
down
the idea
the
of coward, that
Romans.
might become
We
back in
have
a black
stared
bag.
down the Greeks. We will stare down Muhammad Hijab and the Islamists.
You go fight with your son.
Forever.
Go fight with your
we
son.
are the eternal nation.
Piers Morgan puts two men in one studio, and only one of them came to answer questions. Rabbi Shmuley flew in from New York to sit opposite Mohammed Hijab in front of Hijab's audience, on Hijab's turf. He does not blink once. Watch him hold up the map and ask a question nobody wants. Watch him supply the Dresden numbers Hijab cannot, and watch the whole case fall apart. This is not a polite exchange of views. Let's get into it.
Are Hamas to blame? You have a minute, Mohammed, from now.
From one perspective, Hamas started the battle because obviously from October 7th, even they themselves title it Tufan al-Aqsa, or the flooding of al-Aqsa. But from another perspective, if you really look at it from an international law perspective, we're talking about 1967, we're talking about Syria Resolution 242, in which it is actually stated that Israel is in a belligerent state because they're occupying the West Bank, East Jerusalem and Gaza. And they have been, so therefore the war has been continual for a very long time according to international law. But let's remove Hamas from the situation altogether. Let's remove them. What do you have? You have the West Bank. And what do you have in the West Bank? You have 187 children who have been put in prisons. They have been put in prisons, according to Bet Salem, without charge. You have 44 children before October the 7th that have been killed before October the 7th in just 2023 alone. So if you remove Hamas from the equation, what you have the West Bank. You remove dominance from the equation, you have the West Bank, and what do you have? You have occupation, you have settlement, which you condemned, rightfully so. You condemned that on your show, the settlements.
1 minute to respond.
Resolution 242 in the UN doesn't mention a single thing about aggression or aggressor. That is a total fabrication, and it speaks about disputed territories. But let's be clear. The occupier of Gaza is Hamas. They won an election in 2006, had a civil war with Mahmoud Abbas, took the Palestinian Authority officials, threw them off buildings, killed Muslims, killed Arabs. Mahmoud Abbas is afraid to go to Gaza. He's terrified of Hamas. He hasn't been there since 2007. And let's be clear, Hamas is an abomination to Islam. Sultan Salah al-Din, the greatest Muslim conqueror of all time, after whom the main artery in Gaza is named, he said that you have to allow all prisoners to be redeemed. He would never hold hostages. And remember, Islam is about fair treatment of prisoners of war. Hamas beheaded Thai non-Jewish workers. You asked in your last appearance here for real first-hand sources. I'm the first-hand source. I saw it in Kibbutz Alumim. They raped women. They had sex with dead women's bodies. They are evil, and do the right thing and call them evil.
All right.
Hijab opens with a resolution number and a body count. Shmuley answers with the actual text. Resolution 242 never says aggressor, and it says disputed territories. Then he does what Hijab never does, all hour. He names Salah ad-Din on the treatment of prisoners. He says he stood in Kibbutz Alumim himself. First-hand source requested last time, delivered this time. Watch how quickly Hijab tries to take the host's chair.
I want to first, before you do that, I want to commend you, Piers, honestly, because bringing me on for the second time, I have to commend you. And the fact that you actually condemned the settlements is very good. But people want to know, do you think the IDF are a terrorist organization?
No.
You don't think they're a terrorist organization? Okay, well, if you look at the UN definition of terrorist organization, they say killing civilians for political
So you're asking my opinion.
No, but if the UN definition, according to the UN definition, is killing civilians for political objectives. Why are they not terrorist organizations?
Well, you've asked me a straight question. I don't think they are a terror organization.
So when you see babies like this, the ones who kill babies like this are not terrorists.
It's horrific.
So the people who kill babies like this are not terrorists.
Well, let me respond.
Yes.
Let me respond. We'll
it's not your turn.
You can both get into this. Here's my response to that. And I've thought carefully about this. I'll be very honest about my own feelings. I have a real moral quandary about this because as a father, I hate these scenes of kids being killed in Gaza. It's horrific, right? We all know it's horrific.
Well, are they a terrorist organisation, though?
I'm about to explain to you what I think my position is. My position is after what happened on October the 7th, it was so barbaric, so disgusting.
So you can kill children?
Well, no, what you can do...
That's exactly what terrorists say, by the way.
This is someone else becoming the host of the show and now interviewing you. I thought we were being interviewed. Mohammed, you and I are being interviewed. You're not here to interview him.
You're going to have your chance.
Mohammed, you can put it down.
Don't make him lose control of his own show. You do this all the time. It will not... I'm not going to let it happen tonight.
All right, Rabbi, let me answer...
Please have respect for the...
No. Stop interviewing the interviewer and be respectful. And be respectful.
Let me respond.
Tell me, sorry, is it a terrorist organisation or not?
No.
Why not?
I do not believe so.
They kill civilians for political objectives.
You have to let me answer.
Go ahead.
Okay. Here's my answer to that. when Hamas did what they did, two things. One, Hamas knew exactly what Israel's response would be. They knew they would come incredibly hard back.
I don't absolve them.
Wait a minute. I'm not absolving anybody.
I'm not absolving them.
Yeah, okay.
I'm saying the West Bank is West Hamas.
I know.
West Hamas.
You have to let me answer.
Hijab isn't debating here. He's interviewing the host. And he's doing it with a photograph as a prop. Shmuley calls it in real time. You are not here to interview him. Stop interviewing the interviewer. Now notice what never comes back. The question Piers actually asked about Hamas is still sitting there. A prop went up instead of an argument, and that pattern holds all hour.
Let me explain something to you. You said in a video the other day, and you can look me in the eye, you said that Jews are now trembling. Muhammad, no, don't interrupt me. I am not trembling. It's all on my Instagram page. Now, you see this yarmulke? It means that I represent something. I'm an ambassador. You're an ambassador of Islam. You are talking about a religion that started the world's first universities, educated women. Fatima started the first university in the 9th century in Fez, Morocco.
Irrelevant.
Now we have a man who says that he's a representative of Islam.
He's meant to be speaking to you, right?
He goes to Speaker's Corner. He speaks about whether 5-year-old girls are old enough for sex. He says that gay men are dying of AIDS as a punishment from God. And I'm sorry to have to say this to the listeners, that blood is gushing from their backsides. They're better off. You know what it is? Because you are desecrating a great religion. Now let me tell you why. Let me tell you why it's here. Because he will defend Hamas. I will.
Bring it back to the topic.
He will defend Hamas's butchery, savagery. He doesn't care that Hamas is an abomination to Islam because Islam.
But he hasn't done
that. The children in Gaza are dying because Hamas uses them as bulletproof vests.
Okay.
The United States and France and England said yesterday that the Al-Shifa hospital is a military base.
Okay.
It has a tiny veneer.
Let him have his minute.
And that's a tiny veneer of emergency rooms.
Okay.
A minute.
But underneath all of it is a military base.
You have a minute.
And let me tell you something. If it's true that any of these countries care about the Muslims in Gaza because they believe what he's saying, that Israel's killing them, this is a map of all the countries that took place last week in Riyadh to save the Palestinians of Gaza from Israel. Do you know how many? That's Israel, a tiny thing. You know how many of them took in even one Palestinian from Gaza? Zero, nothing.
All right.
Look at that map.
Watch what happens to the denial. Hijab says he never said it. Shmuley says it is on his Instagram. And the subject changes anyway. Then comes the map itself. Every Arab government that met in Riyadh to save Gaza, and the number of Gazans they took in was 0. That is not a slogan. That is a printed sheet held to the camera, and Hijab has no answer for it.
Rabbi Shmuley, you have a minute starting now.
I just came here by taxi and passed a statue of Winston Churchill. That's in the lifetime of our parents, okay? He is the greatest British statesman of the 20th century. You know what he did when he had a genocidal threat, knowing that Hitler wanted to eviscerate, annihilate Britain? He carpet bombed all of Germany, Dresden, Essen, Hamburg. Israel has not even gotten close to that. Israel does not send its Air Force to carpet bomb cities. It sends in its military. I have a friend who died, six children, 39, because he was personally trying to stop a Hamas terror tunnel. Israel is surgical. Israel is only going after the fighters. Israel has opened humanitarian corridors for the Palestinians to go south. Hamas shoots them and makes sure they don't go. Hamas builds its military structures. Right, Shifa Hospital is this much hospital, and it's this much military. They love using Palestinians. And that's why they've stolen their money. They got about $16 billion from the international community. There isn't one bomb shelter in Gaza. They don't care about the civilians at all. Israel's doing the right thing.
What I'm saying is the 100 to 1 ratio comes from the following figures. We know that 10,000 civilians have died. Of them, according to the IDF, as reported by The Guardian, dozens, they say, about 60 Hamas died, which we're being liberal by saying 100 to 1 figures. For every one Hamas, you have to kill 100 civilians. That's effectively what we're saying. If the trajectory continues as it is, then you have to kill 3 million Palestinian civilians in order to kill 30,000 Hamas fighters. If you want to extinguish them, eviscerate them, annihilate them, destroy them, you have to do that. Now you have Herzog, who is the president that you interviewed, saying that all Palestinians, they are responsible. This man is being more slippery. He's being more slippery than the lubricants that he sells in his daughter's sex shop. And that's the reality of the situation.
Shmuley gets a minute and uses all 60 seconds on the argument. Churchill carpet-bombed German cities, Israel opens corridors south and Hamas shoots the people using them. Then Hijab gets his minute. He spends 50 seconds on arithmetic and finishes it by bringing up the rabbi's daughter's business. That is the whole tell. When the numbers run out, the family comes up. Now watch what he does with Winston Churchill.
Right. I don't disagree with you that so far it seems to me, obviously, a fact that many, many more Palestinian civilians, innocent people, are getting killed as retribution by the Israelis for what happened on October the 7th. That's indisputable, right? Their argument is that they're going after a terror organization, Hamas, and unfortunately in war, as Rabbi Shmuley correctly said about what Churchill did in World War II.
Churchill was wrong. Churchill was wrong.
Was he a war criminal?
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Churchill was a war criminal.
Yes, he was. Churchill was a war
Were
criminal.
all the British
Let me
people
do
who
this
lived
Churchill was a war criminal.
Okay,
Let me do
and
the
George
question.
VI, was George VI a war criminal?
All of them were criminals. Yes, of
So
course.
anyone that,
his
hang on,
Yes,
Rabbi Shmuley.
war criminal.
Let me ask. So let me get this straight.
Absolutely.
You think
Collective punishment.
You think Winston Churchill
Was a war criminal, yes.
in standing up to the Nazis
By killing the
who
babies.
killed 12 million people?
I believe he was a war
that
criminal.
by doing what he did was a war criminal.
By killing in Dresden and Hamburg. By the indiscriminate killing. Collective punishment. My morality says that's impossible.
Okay, that means the British people who
That's impossible.
supported him
Can't
and
kill
voted him
children.
in, they were
My
also...
morality says that's
just
impossible.
a second.
That's what I
But
believe,
the British...
yes.
He just called Winston Churchill a war criminal, and he said it on British television. The man who stood alone against the Nazis. And the answer is collective punishment. Piers gives him an exit and asks him to name one war where civilians were not killed. He does not take it. He goes back to the ratio instead. And watch what happens when Shmuley asks for the Dresden number.
So let me give you a ratio.
Yeah.
How many people did the Nazis kill?
I don't know.
You don't
12
know how
million.
many Nazis
We know they killed 6 million
They
Jews in
killed
the
12
Holocaust.
million people.
I don't know. We don't know.
Including 6 million Jews.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
So
12 million
how many died in Dresden? How many civilians died in Germany? Do you know?
I don't know exactly.
Right. So you don't actually know what you're talking about.
I do know what I'm talking about because
You
I know in
called
Dresden
Churchill-
and Hamburg.
You said
if
it's
he's
about you. Unless I'm wrong.
Yeah, go ahead.
Unless I'm wrong.
Yeah, go
You
ahead.
said it's to do with the
Ratios.
The ratios.
Yes.
But you don't know the ratios. When
No,
you
no,
call,
I know for a fact
You
Dresden
call
and
Winston Churchill a
What are the
criminal.
numbers?
Dresden and Hamburg.
What are the
When you-
numbers?
Dresden
Wait a
and
minute,
Hamburg?
Rabbi Shmuley. When you
Dresden-
call Winston Churchill a criminal,
Yeah, I believe
you're
a war
basing
criminal.
it on ratios you don't even know what they are.
No, I know. There's difference of opinion among the scholars.
No, there isn't.
There is difference.
Tell us the opinions. What are they? Tell us what they are.
Hold on. There's of
How
course-
many in Dresden?
Excuse me. Stop speaking for
How
a
many
second.
in Dresden?
Am I speaking to him or
How
you?
many in Dresden?
Whatever the number.
You don't know
if
at
it's
all.
indiscriminate,
Okay.
I'm against it.
No, he doesn't.
That's my morality.
Rabbi Shmuley, you respond.
Dresden's about 25,000, and at the time, the Germans were saying 250,000. We know it's about 25,000 today.
There is the whole collapse. 20 seconds on ratios, and he cannot give one number. Piers says it out loud. You don't actually know what you're talking about. Shmuley fills the gap for him. Dresden was about 25,000 dead. The Germans claimed 10 times that. That is what reading the material sounds like next to reciting a slogan.
Rabbi Shmuley, is there a limit to the number of civilians in Gaza that Israel can kill to try and
That's a
eliminate
good question.
Hamas?
That's a great question.
Yes, there is.
What's
Thank
the
you,
limit?
but let me ask you.
Not even one. Not one beautiful Palestinian child should have to die because Hamas kicked out Mahmoud
That wasn't
Abbas.
my question.
And not one should have to die. What the answer to your question is that Hamas, if they surrender unconditionally, then
Which they're
all
not
of
gonna
that.
do.
Okay, fine.
But is there a
them,
limit?
then let them allow all the civilians.
Is there a
Israel,
limit?
Israel said that all the civilians can leave. All the civilians should go south. They begged them, and that's something that militaries never do. Churchill did not tell the people.
A member of the cabinet in Israel was actually quoted as saying that nuclear weapons were an option that Israel could use. No one's ever confirmed Israel has nuclear weapons. It's long been suspected. That seemed pretty clear confirmation.
Why are
to
you
me.
against nuclear
But
weapons?
hang on.
If you're not against Dresden, why are you against nuclear
Let me
weapons?
ask the question. Let me ask.
No, but
the
why are you
question.
against it?
I've done this before, this job. Let me do it.
Go on.
Okay. So when that guy says that, if you're living as an innocent civilian in Gaza, what the hell are you thinking? That an Israeli government member threatens the use of a nuclear weapon,
Right.
which would obliterate pretty much all of Gaza and everyone in it.
Absolutely.
Thank you for the question. If that were true, why hasn't Israel used nuclear weapons against Nasser when he invaded?
it's true that-
Well, hold on.
it's true this guy threatened
Yeah,
it.
and the answer is no. I know the guy, and I spoke to him about it. His name is Amichai Eliyahu. Israel has
Against Nasser,
never
preemptive.
carpet bombed any
Against Nasser was
Arab.
preemptive.
Hang on, Mohammed.
1967 was
Ever.
preemptive.
Now.
1967 was preemptive.
He was asked the question, by a provocative interview, and he said, well, if you're going to bomb the same thing, it was like it was a Mohammed Hijab type. You want to kill all the Arabs, 3 million people, just drop a bomb. He said, well, if you want to drop a bomb, drop a bomb. He was being dismissive and stupid, and he put out a statement the next day saying that never in history would the Jews ever even contemplate doing that. Let's remember one thing.
Piers asks the hardest question of the night. Is there any limit at all? Shmuley's answer is not one child. And then he explains the evacuation warnings no army bothers to give. Hijab's answer is another exhibit held to the lens. Then the nuclear question, and Shmuley does not dodge it. He names the minister by name. He calls the remark stupid, and he points out that Israel has never used the weapon.
In 2005, Israel unilaterally withdrew from Gaza and allowed, Hamas won an election in 2006. They could have built Singapore. You know what they did? They took larger foreign aid per capita than all of Europe received from the Marshall Plan. And look what France and Britain, look how beautiful London is. They took that money and they bought bullets and bombs. They did not build hospitals, not schools. They stole it from the Palestinian people.
Do you condemn Hamas?
On what basis?
Here we go. See?
No, hold on.
Play
Do
games.
you accept now
Let me ask you a question.
Every answer is on what basis? On what this? On this? What's your source?
Let him
Even
answer.
if you ask me, if you do condemn the IDF, I'll say specify your context. In what exact context do
You defend Hamas as a terrorist organization that just went and killed 1,200 people, burned them alive, beheaded them, and took 250 hostages. Do you condemn them or not? Do you condemn them or not? Get your head into the debate, and do you condemn them or not? See, this is a debating tactic.
It's 2-on-1 now.
Let him answer.
Let him answer.
It's 2-on-1. It's become 2-on-1.
Let him answer.
You're not a victim. Stop the victim, but now it's 2-on-1. Stop the victim. You love portraying yourself as a strong man. Now you're a victim, it's 2-on-1. You probably could take 2-on-1 , so answer it. Answer the question. Is Hamas a terror organization you condemn?
Is that something you and your
Is
daughter
Hamas a terror organization
take 2-on-1?
that you...
It's a reasonable question because you asked me, is the IDF a terror
Okay, beautiful. I'll answer your question directly. Hamas is as much a terrorist organization. No, Hamas shouldn't be called a terror organization if the IDF isn't. Why?
Okay.
Because
16 billion in aid, and not one bomb shelter in Gaza. Shmuley lays out where the money went and names the men worth $4 billion each. Then comes the simple question. Do you condemn Hamas? And watch the answer. On what basis, he says. Specify the context, he says. Legally, morally, a definition borrowed from an ICJ justice. 4 minutes to reach either both or neither. Piers had to translate the answer for him.
Rabbi,
This is how you lose a debate when you need to bring... I brought nothing with me.
He could be this.
It
could be like this.
No, my son
He
is...
could be dead like that.
My son is in the IDF. You're here in the safety of a
He could be
studio
dead like that.
talking about how you want to do martyrdom. You're really risking your life here, Mom. You're big talk.
Your son could be dead right now, like this boy.
You attack Ben Shapiro's wife.
Your son is an IDF.
You actually
Could be dead right now.
You actually posted a
Could be
clip
dead right
saying
now.
that with someone else saying that Islam
like your son
teaches
to
you
be
how to get
returned in a black
women
bag?
to listen to their husbands.
Your
This
son
is
could
all
be returned in a black
false
bag.
bravado, false machismo.
Your son,
if you're a
Mendy,
real man,
could
go
be
to the
dead.
Middle East and fight. What are you doing in a
do you mean?
television
Alright,
studio?
fight with who? Fight with
Can
who?
we move to the last one?
You should be there. You have the right to fight with the
No,
IDF.
I'm not.
You use your son as a human
Alright.
shield.
You
He's
try
using
to
his son as a
bully
human
people
shield.
in debates, and it's being allowed.
He's using his son.
He brought up the man's son, a soldier serving right now, and he asks how he'd like him back in a black bag. Shmuley's answer is the line of the night. You are in the safety of a studio in London talking about martyrdom. Real men don't attack women. If you're serious, go and fight. Notice Piers trying to move on 3 separate times.
Rabbi
Please keep it in.
Shmuley, 1
Okay.
minute on, is peace ever possible?
Of course, I revere countries like the United Arab Emirates, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, where I've spoken several times. I am safer as a Jew wearing a yarmulke in Dubai and Abu Dhabi than I am on the campus of Columbia University or even Harvard these days. The Mohammed bin Zayed is just an incredible leader. I saw in the Gulf states the Islam that Mohammed Hijab rejects, but the Islamic world embraces. That's why they made peace with Israel. It's a technologically advanced, tolerant, forward-looking, very traditional, very religious Islam, and that's why they've made peace with Israel, and peace will continue to be made. All of these countries are praying for Israel to destroy Hamas, because Mohammed Hijab is an outlier. He's an extremist, and his views, his views as he represents them at Speaker's Corner of things about women being subject. Okay. But let me just be clear. All of the Arab countries want Hamas destroyed. And the proof is, when they had their conference in Riyadh last week, they did not even once call to bring in any evacuees because they want Israel to establish a more democratic regime in Gaza, which they will do. Israel's
Here's
winning
my
this war.
follow-up to both of you, right?
I'll tell you. If two-state solution is a Hamas state wanting to eviscerate Israel,
he doesn't believe in it.
But he doesn't believe in a two-state solution. He believes in a final solution. That's what really scares me. You don't believe in a two-state solution. You believe in a final solution.
I'll ask him in a
The way
minute.
you speak about Jews,
Rabbi
you believe in a final solution, and it scares you.
I like them.
Do you believe in a two-state
I love
solution?
Jewish
If
people.
that second state is Mexico
Jewish
and
people are
Canada,
fantastic people.
If that second
I love
state
kosher meat.
is Gaza, then of course not, because it'll just become another genocidal enemy wanting to wipe Israel off the map.
That's pretty unequivocal. He doesn't really want a two-state solution.
I don't want a two-state solution. That's a terror state to destroy Israel.
I
Of course
personally
not.
believe this whole question should be left to the Palestinians of what kind of solution they want.
Asked whether peace is possible, Shmuley says yes, and then he names the places. Dubai and Abu Dhabi, countries that signed with Israel and stayed signed. He says he feels safer in a yarmulke there than on an American campus. Then comes the two-state answer, and it is the most honest thing said all hour. Not a state built to finish the job. Watch how he closes the last block, because the volume is about to go up.
I mean, in a way, what do either of you think you've achieved with this?
You know what I've achieved?
Constant personal
I'll answer
abuse.
that. I'll answer.
The constant personal abuse.
I'll answer. Can I answer that question?
That's a rhetorical question.
I'll tell you what I've achieved. People like Islamists like Mohammed Hijab, and you can answer. If you don't interrupt me, I'll finish with this, and then you can speak. They believe that Israel is going to disappear. They believe that we Jews are afraid of them. They believe that we Jews won't debate them. They believe that we tremble. He did a video last week where he said,
Jews.
"Did you see how they tremble?"
Who's they?
I have seen. Who are they? Who are they?
I was going to say Jews.
Then who did you mean?
So why did you?
Who did you mean? He meant the Jews. He won't even say it.
Anti-Semitism can't.
You know why I'm here? You know why I'm here?
Weak.
Let me finish. You know why I'm here?
Anti-Semitism
You know why
can't.
I'm here? I'm here to show
To shut the debate down because you're weak.
We have
you're weak, just like your son.
the
Your son, the coward.
Assyrians.
Your son, the
we
coward. The
have
idea of
stared
coward.
down the Babylonians.
You might be like this.
We have stared
Your son,
down
the idea of
the
coward, that
Romans.
might become back
we
in
have
a black
stared
bag.
down the Greeks. We will stare down Muhammad
we?
Hijab
You
and
do
the
anything.
Islamists.
You go fight with your son.
Forever.
Go fight with your
We
son.
are the eternal nation. So
Go fight with
you know
your
what I've
son.
achieved? I've shown people like him that we are going nowhere. We're not
Who's we?
afraid of them. We don't tremble.
That is why he flew 4,000 miles. Not for a points decision. He came to say one sentence in a hostile room, and he said it. Assyrians, Babylonians, Greeks, and now a television studio in London. The eternal nation line will outlive this broadcast, and he still has a closing minute left.
First of all, Mohammed, thank you very much for wearing the Israeli colors. Thank you for your support of the Jewish state. We greatly appreciate it. I should have done the same. Secondly, I'm sorry you wouldn't shake my hand. I will shake your hand anytime because I do believe what Pierce said. We have to have peace and harmony going forward. It's a shame that you said no. Third, peace will come when my Arab brothers and sisters who are the green on this map accept that tiny little thing that I'm covering with my finger, that tiny little thing called Israel. And when they understand that Israel is not the Jewish homeland, Israel is actually the great Arab hope. If our Arab brothers and sisters get the economic prosperity of Israel, the rights for women, the rights for freedom of assembly, to criticize their governments without fear, the way the people in Hamas, in Gaza would be murdered by Hamas, let alone in Palestinian Authority, they'd be thrown in jails. Israel's the great hope. Let me just say this. Islam is a great world religion. It created the world's first universities. It introduced agricultural reforms in Europe under Sultan Akbar in India 400 years before Europe. You had Al-Razi, who introduced medical reforms 600 years before the
All right.
And if we return to that kind of advance, not the Islam that is being advocated by Mohammed Hijab, which is antiquated and dark ages, then we will have peace.
Okay.
So God bless my Muslim brothers and sisters, and I will shake your hand anytime.
Mohammed?
66 minutes. And here is what it came down to. One man brought sources he could name, numbers he could quote, and answers to questions he did not enjoy. The other brought printed photographs, a stopwatch complaint, and 4 different ways to avoid saying yes or no. Piers called it a dispiriting hour. It wasn't. It was clarifying. When somebody cannot tell you the casualty figures behind the ratio he built his entire case on, you have learned something. And when somebody offers a handshake twice after all that, you have learned something else. Do you think Rabbi Shmuley exposed a case with nothing behind it, or was Mohammed Hijab right that the numbers speak for themselves? Drop your thoughts in the comments.